Hey there and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome to my channel and thank you so much for being here. First and foremost, a little warning. If you don't like spooky stories, if you don't believe in that stuff, or if you get spooked easily, I would highly suggest not watching this video. I have been waiting a very long time to share this video with you. I knew like July that I wanted to be making this video because I have lots of spooky stories to share and I feel like it's the perfect time to like introduce this video. So where do I start? When I was a young teen, like I feel many teens are, me and my best high school friends used to like get together on weekends and we thought it was like cool and exciting to play with the Ouija board. Being that my family is really religious, I always felt like playing with the Ouija board was more than just a fun game. I always kind of felt like it was really scary and also kind of a huge risk. We would typically get together on weekends, pretty much every single weekend, and play Ouija. And we would always play at my friend Jamie's house. As time went on, her whole house started to feel more and more eerie. Like you would walk in the door and you would just feel this presence, especially when you were in the basement. I feel like I'm getting like spooked already. And I remember there was one time where I went to Jamie's house on my own and we decided, yeah, sure, let's play Ouija. We trust each other. We would never do that to each other. Like, and I know there was one of our friends who would definitely totally do stuff to spook us, but like her and I are not the type of people to do that. We decided we were gonna call River Phoenix because Jamie loves River Phoenix and has loved River Phoenix the entire time I've known her. We're sitting there and we're talking, you know, to River and we're asking if it's him and he's saying it's him. And I'm on one side of the board and Jamie's on the other side of the board. And as we're playing, I'm like, oh, this is so weird. I feel like this cold presence over here, like literally only this side. And at this point I had been otherwise like boiling because that happens to me when I get really nervous. I just start to like sweat and heat up. So I just felt like this cold. As I'm saying this, I honest to God felt it travel from this side of my body around my back to this side of my body and then it was gone. And then she was like, holy shit, I feel that same thing. And at this point I didn't feel it anymore, but she felt it on one side of her body and just kind of like traveled around as if this spirit was just kind of like walking around us. And I remember I had read something online that you can get ghosts to communicate with you by just kind of like putting a piece of paper down and like having a pen. They could write something for you, whatever. We decide at this point we're gonna try the pen and paper thing. And so we both leave the room. At this point it's like midnight, maybe even a little later, and the layout of our house kind of like to get to the basement there's only one door to go down. You can't get down any other way. I just heard the heat go on and it scared the crap out of me. That's how like nervous I get telling these stories. We're literally in the kitchen and from the kitchen you can see the door. 15 minutes pass, we decide to go back down. There is a huge, like almost like a thumbprint. It almost looks like one part of the paper has literally just like melted. It was a perfect thumbprint. And we're like, did you step on it when we left? And both of us were like, no, like we left it on the boards. We pick it up and this one area, like it wasn't, it's hard to explain. If you were to step on a piece of paper, it kind of like bends the whole thing. It was just this like drop in it. It was so abnormal to us. And we just kept putting our thumbs in there, fingers in there, seeing if we could recreate it, like even like put our toes. Nothing recreated it. It only, if anything, kind of created like folds and creases in it. To this day, we still don't know what it was. I'm absolutely convinced it was something. Fast forward, you know, a few years, we've grown up. We don't really hang out anymore because high school's over. And Ouija is pretty much a distant memory at this point. Jamie ended up, you know, having 2 kids of her own and still had sort of like lived at home. As her kids kind of get a little older, spooky things start happening. I still get really scared talking about this stuff because I would be calling Jamie basically every single day and there would be something new. It started off with her daughter Emily, and Emily would talk about her friends and how her friends would wake her up and play with her and she would all of a sudden just like be fine and then just start running up and down the hallways of the house being like, my friends are here, my friends are here. There was one time where Jamie was outside with her daughter and playing with the chalk. Jamie was like, "What are you drawing?" And Emily's like, "Oh, I'm drawing the man in my room." I'm actually gonna call Jamie super quick and put her on speaker.
Sure, it was the boy, because remember there was a boy and there was a girl.
Yeah.
But then she said that there was somebody in my room.
Oh, that's right.
She could stand by my closet, remember?
Yeah.
She freaked me out. Because she said nothing worse than being in bed and you were like, you know that she just said that there's somebody like some person, standing by your closet.
I'm just like remembering times that I would call you and you would just be like, "Well, something new happened today." And like that one time that you said you were in your living room and you saw the guy walking up the stairs.
Oh, you know what? I've seen that a few times. Actually, a few times when I'm walking past the basement, but then even the upstairs, stairs, and then in the dining room, I swear I've always felt like there's something in that dining room. Because
Yeah.
When you walk by, I've seen, out of the corner of my eye, and then I think, oh, wow, I have always hated that room.
Me too.
I hate that room at night more than I hate the basement. And I hate the basement because, remember all the things we did down there?
Yeah.
With the Ouija board and stuff?
Yeah.
On the couch. And she woke me up. It was 3 o'clock. And I was laying there, and she was playing and talking away and, staring off at things. And then, I don't know, I swear to God, I felt somebody, grab my foot. And I remember jumping and, being like, what, she's a baby, and I obviously wasn't her.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, what the heck? And it was weird because she had been doing, almost like she was, seeing somebody and somebody was making her laugh, which happened quite a bit. Because I remember she'd look off and I'd be laughing and really laughing. Not even just there's babies laugh. Right? No, this was hysterically laughing. As if somebody was tickling her or
yeah.
I don't know, doing something in front of her to make her just, it was the weirdest thing, but I'll never forget, how scared I was.
So, as you can probably gather, a lot of really spooky things happened in her house. It was always very unsettling being in there. Jamie used to see these shadows near her closet, and it really used to scare her a lot. And I remember one night being like, "Listen, you just got to take a picture of it, and then just it'll ease your mind. There's nothing there, just take a picture and it'll be fine." So the next morning she calls me back and she's like, "Listen, I took pictures and there was nothing really in it, but there was weird lighting." And then I think she got a call on the other line and she had to go, and then she called me back after and she sounded really scared, and I was like, "What's wrong?" And she's like, "I looked at the pictures again." And I was like, "Okay, what's wrong?" She's like, "There's something in one of the pictures." When I saw this picture, I literally just felt like my heart dropped to my stomach. There was no denying what I had seen, and everyone who sees it is like, "What the fuck is that?" The common response is, "Well, you just probably put that through an app." Apps like that didn't really exist back then either. I was still using a BlackBerry back then. Final warning, if you do not want to see a spooky picture, don't look. This was really unsettling to me and has been really unsettling to a lot of people. It's really hard to look at it. That is clear as day a man smirking. I don't know what it is. It's so out of place. It just doesn't even feel like it should be there. I just feel disgusting after looking at that. I know I'm gonna have people give me shit about playing Ouija. Trust me, I know. I was 14 years old. I also, at the time, even knew it was a really stupid idea, but peer pressure, what do you want me to do? It happened. Anyways, that's everything. Don't forget, you can find new videos from me every Wednesday and every Sunday, and new blog posts every Tuesday and every Friday, and I will see you next time. Bye. Ooh. Because I'm really excited to bring you this Fashion Nova haul. For full disclosure, everything was sent to me from Fashion Nova, but as usual, all of the opinions I'm giving you are genuine, everything I really feel. So let's just get to the good stuff. The first item is something I've kind of been fidgeting with for a while, but it's this choker, and you can't really tell right now, but it's a two-piece. And this piece here, which is so tangled and I'll figure out eventually, just drops below the choker here.